All right, thanks very much, Greg, and thanks very much to you all for coming to this event. I will be talking about the process of learning a foreign language, a language that we learn in addition to our mother tongue. And this is a fascinating, intriguing, but also a very complex process. And I will be talking about some of the evidence we have from language corpora about this process, some of the findings that we have based on empirical evidence that comes from the analysis of large amounts of language, computational analysis. So this is what I mean by corpora, language corpora. And in particular, I will be talking about findings that are based on a project that the Lancaster University is involved in together with our research partner, the Trinity College London, which is a major international testing board. And we are together compiling a large spoken learner corpus. If you haven't heard the term spoken learner corpus, this is a large body of transcribed material coming from different learners of the English language all over the globe. We have people from China, India, Sri Lanka, but also Mexico, Italy, Spain, or even Russia. Currently, we have around 1,000 different speakers of English. All of these are people whose mother tongue is different from English and who speak English as their second, third, or fourth language. Currently, we have something around 2.5 million running words, which is an exciting thing for a corpus linguist. But for you just to sort of imagine what we are dealing with, if you imagine one page A4 full of text and multiply this by something like 17,000 times, you get quite a large pile, 300 hours of recordings, and this is the corpus that we are dealing with at the moment, and the corpus is currently still growing, so it is a large data set, the largest of its kind. So all of the examples I will be showing you today come from this wonderful resource, the Trinity Lancaster Spoken Learner Corpus. I would like to start with a language myth, something that I call a language myth. But before we do that, I would like to just run a quick survey among our audience. Could you please raise your hands if you've ever learned a foreign language in a classroom or in any context? And could you please keep your hands up if you found this process straightforward and easy? Yeah, we have some talented linguists among ourselves, which is great. But I think most people find the process challenging for a number of reasons, and I will be talking about some of them. I think the reasons are also connected to what I already mentioned, is the big central language myth about learning a foreign language. Until recently, people have conceptualized language as grammar and vocabulary. And when you put these two together, you have your language. And also the pedagogical attention, what teachers do in the classroom, was largely focused on grammar and vocabulary. In this talk, I would like to show you that actually language learning involves much more than that, and we need to pay attention to other aspects as well. So let me give you a very concrete example. Here's a transcript from our learner corpus, and we'll be focusing on speaker 1, S1, because this is the speaker of Italian background who uses English as their second language. When you look at the transcript and just glance over it, you might notice some grammatical errors or lexical errors, and the sort of teacher in me would sort of take out a marker and almost sort of try to correct these. However, when you focus on those, the sort of subject-verb agreement problems, missing subject in the first utterance, you miss a very important aspect of this transcript and of the learner production. This aspect is what I call pragmatic appropriateness. And let me explain what I mean by this. Here, this is the same transcript, but this time I didn't highlight the grammatical inaccuracies, but I highlighted things that are very important for communication in English. Things that in linguistics we call pragmatics or subsume under the field of pragmatics that are connected to the way we communicate in different contexts, the way we engage with our audience, with the other speaker in this case, the way we position ourselves. And here I would say the speaker, the Italian speaker from our corpus, is much more successful. And let me just highlight one of the examples. The debate is about whether change is a good or a bad thing. And speaker one tries to get across the idea that change is a positive thing, whereas speaker two is a bit more conservative, saying, well, maybe we shouldn't be so excited about change. But look at the way speaker one actually expresses a disagreement with speaker two. Speaker one says, I agree with this point, but don't you think maybe the fact that times are changing is a good thing? I think speaker one actually manages this situation really, really well, acknowledging the point of view of the second speaker, yet being able to express their point of view very, very clearly, using these sort of tiny words in language that matter. Another area that I would like to briefly mention is an area that I call active listenership. When we focus on learning a foreign language, we very often focus on production, how we speak, how we write. But what is a very important area of this process is how we react to other people speaking. So let me give you an example. This is another example from the Trinity Lancaster Spoken Learner corpus. And just notice, again, we are focusing on speaker one, a different speaker this time. And notice these tiny, tiny words. In linguistics, we call these back channels. They are very important because they indicate, A, that the speaker understands what is going on, but also it shows very close engagement with what the other speaker is saying. Yes, go on, I understand, and occasionally the speaker asks clarification questions. So a very important part of this is how we react to what other people are saying. And finally, I would like to talk about idiomatic language. Idiomatic language is all about words in context and words in combinations. When we learn language, we acquire words not as single individual units, but we acquire them through context. And the context is very, very important. I will show you one specific example of the verb take. The verb take in English is a very general one. Literally, it means to grab one thing and move it from one place to another. But the verb take is more often used in combination with other words, such as nouns or adjectives, to mean some abstract concepts, metaphorical uses. And here I want to show you at 3 different proficiency levels how learners actually acquire the different uses and combinations of the verb take. So this is the lowest level from our corpus, the pre-intermediate level or B1 level of the Common European Framework, if you know this classification. And here what you can see is, apart from the concrete examples, take money from the bank or from ATM, we get some of the metaphorical uses, such as take care or take part. Yet, what we can also see is that, and this is based on 300 odd different speakers, so these are sort of all speakers subsumed, and these are the frequent salient combinations of words. Yet we can see that there are only a handful of those at this level. Let's move up one level, and these are the intermediate users. Again, 300-something different users of the English language. And here, we, apart from the take care and take part from the previous slides, we also get some other metaphorical or phrasal verb uses, such as take out, take off, and take place. When we move to the final level, the sort of C1, C2 level of the Common European Framework, the most advanced speakers in our corpus, you get an even more complex picture. Again, those ones from the previous slides are there, but you get examples such as take into account, take advantage, or take responsibility. So again, very, very complex metaphorical uses that are present there. And when we put these slides one next to another, we get almost sort of a real-time view of the language development from the lower intermediate up to the most advanced use. So just to summarize, and I will finish with this slide, there are many more things about learning a language, a foreign language, than just grammar and vocabulary. I talked about the importance of active listenership, the importance of pragmatic features, features that are based on a particular context and how we handle the individual situations in a particular context. Also, we need to acquire language that is idiomatic, that flows naturally. And this is done through these very special combinations, and there are hundreds and thousands of them in a language. And through language corpora, we can actually observe them and observe their acquisition almost in real time, as I showed you from the previous slides. And we are really excited about this Learner Corpus project, because our hope is that with the data that we have available, we will be able to assist language learners and their teachers so that the process of acquisition of a foreign language can be much more efficient and also much more enjoyable. So thank you very much.